Do you ever feel like you're lost in this pursuit of creating?
I think I'm not the only one to feel alone when it comes to creating at all these days. Especially in this world of Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, social media, we can easily get caught up in this I have to do everything on my own kind of mentality. And I mean, who's gonna help? So I guess sometimes we are on our own. But do we have to be? See, as an artist and a creative, the biggest thing that has helped me get to where I am from 1,000 subs to 15,000 subscribers, honestly, was community. I don't think I could have ever done all the things that I've done and grow to the capacity I am this fast if it wasn't for a group or at least a few other like-minded creatives that I could relate to, share ideas with, work off of each other. And that's kind of even my mission with this channel, is how can I be there for other people who are coming up? How can I make it easier for the next person? And that's where today's sponsorship comes in with Riverside. It's honestly really great for interviews, podcasts, webinars even, and even filming talking head videos for YouTube. As an editor for the last 6 years, my favorite part about this whole thing is that they also have an editing feature within Riverside. What's great about Riverside is that you're able to get consistent audio and video from both your end and the other person's end. So you never have to worry about potato quality, losing connection, the entire call cutting out mid-recording. And you can be rest assured that your entire recording will be there in the best quality of each end. In the age of AI and all these new tools for creators like us, it just makes things easier for us to get things done much faster. And a great thing is if you're not that fluent in video editing, you can just edit the entire clip, video and audio, by selecting certain words, pauses, phrases, and cut up your video that way. But not only that, you can take certain sections and move them around so that what you want said at a certain time can be there. After using Riverside myself for not only talking heads, but even video interviews, it just makes the whole process so much easier. Like I said, I'm here to make things easier for my fellow creators, especially those who are starting out. So if you're interested for a free trial, check out the link in the description below. And if you see Riverside fitting into your creative toolbox, there is a 15% off discount with Shua Films. I think it is in collaboration that the nature of art is revealed. Yeah, that's not my quote. I wish it was. It's pretty good. The thing is though, it's not always easy. And quite frankly, sometimes it's really hard to find anyone else that is interested in the things you are. Most of the time, you find them on YouTube. And in the small town where I came from, it was just me, all alone. So, okay, we know that community is so important, but it's also really hard to find. So how in the world do you begin? It all starts with one. So when I first came to the city, it took me a minute to really meet anyone in Chicago. But I met one person that led me to another person, that led me to another person, that led me to Freddie, which already had led me because it was led by the previous person, Sky. Me, Freddie, and Sky have been meeting together over the last few months, honestly kind of year, all the struggles that we have of why Chicago really isn't like a collaborative community. So we've been going back and forth about like, what does it really take to start one? Like, what does it really take to build that foundation that Chicago needs to be more collaborative? So we kind of did it. We got a place, we got a bunch of people to say yes. We sold out, but like, what's next? The purpose of this meetup was to kind of share like who we are as a group, what we're trying to do, you know, expressing some of our own struggles, talking about burnout, kind of giving some insights of how to grow. Because a lot of people there, they were in like their first to third year of doing it.
So what can you expect from a community or a foundation building like this? Well, that's the thing though. As I mentioned, Chicago already has communities. This is just like the foundation where we can all find common ground to meet. You know, honestly, I am seriously, genuinely excited that this is actually happening. This has kind of been like a fever dream for me. You know, I didn't know how to begin or even know where to begin to find the kind of people who are interested in building something like this with me. Because I knew like this isn't a solo mission. This isn't, success ain't solitary. So to find other like-minded people who want to do this, kind of exciting. Since being new to all this and we're trying to figure everything out, out of curiosity, what are some things that you guys have been looking for that you want or need in said community that you could really utilize to grow wherever you are and whatever level you are in your artistic career. One of the biggest things that I feel like this will help a lot with in Chicago is the fact that Chicago has a lot of gatekeepy tendencies. As someone who has lived and grew up in Chicago, what do you think, fellow Chicago person?
I think it's a good start. I think it's a really good start to be putting together a group of people who all have the same idea that they want to connect with other people. I think in Chicago we can be the gatekeeping comes from not being trusting. When you start off with that foundation of we want to connect, not for any personal gain, but just literally to make connection, I think that that's a really great start to build trust, and then it'll just go from there.
With the gatekeepiness and the lack of like structure for anything creative in the city, I feel like this is kind of like a central park, like a common area, like a lobby, if you will, for like all kinds of artists. 'Cause I just want everyone to be welcome, not judged for what they do or how good they are at it yet.
I like those descriptions, like a lobby. I would also think of it kind of as how do I say this? You know how like on the train you have stops where you can connect to other trains? Yeah, like connecting stops, basically. That's what I feel like this club can be for people, is not only a place to meet like-minded people, but to also, in a safe environment, find connections to others. So the gatekeeping kind of gets bypassed because you're building relationships in an organic way, and then you're meeting other people and making other connections through those relationships. And I think that's what this is going to be able to do for people is create those connections without it being forced.
I know this is gonna be a long way before we get to where I want and where we all see like this new foundation kind of getting to, but I'm really encouraged in the fact that there's never really one way to doing anything. So while we're figuring this out, I find reassurance in the fact that we're going to find this out in the way that works best for us. As a group, myself, and as Chicago as a whole.